Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Friday. We made it. We made it with all that energy that we talked about Monday and Wednesday. We made it to Friday, and I'm feeling extremely grateful for the upcoming weekend. How are we all doing? Good morning, Tabitha. It's nice to see you here. We're going to do an Ask the Medium session. I hope you had a good week. It was a little bit turbulent. If you agree with that, let me know. We talked a lot about agitation and that fiery energy that's been floating around. I hope that you all managed to navigate through all that, remaining somewhat grounded and learning the lessons along the way. Last night, I did a group session in a little town called St. Mary's, Ontario. It was a private group. I had a spectacular time. It was a beautiful country drive, and I got to drive home as the sun was setting. So it was a wonderful experience for me. And I do love group readings. It's a platform mediumship is so incredible for me to experience, and for people in the group too. But it's just an incredible experience to do the platform mediumship. It's always a lot of fun. So how are we all feeling? There's a little bit of a tired energy drifting around. I think a lot of it comes with that agitation energy that we kind of been working through all week, that frustration energy, that fiery energy. It's kind of left a lot of people kind of feeling a little bit exhausted. So make sure that you're nurturing yourself this weekend. Give yourself some time to heal through that experience that we just went through. And I think we don't, give ourselves enough space sometimes to process things. So get drained for sure, says Kayla. Yeah, it was a draining week energetically. I turned up the volume on my spiritual practices to keep myself a little bit more grounded and a little bit more solid in navigating a lot of that energy that was floating around. All right, let's go through and ask the medium. I have about half an hour ish this morning. Ish, and I always push it right to the end. I do have some in-person sessions this morning. So let's get right into it. Crystal, good morning. Would love any messages from spirit about a man I've been seeing. Um, Crystal, I feel really good here. I feel like I've got to say, really enjoy the new, really enjoy the exploring. I also feel like I need to say, you don't have to hold part of yourself back. I feel like I feel very safe and very confident in. It's good to let who you are shine through. I don't feel the need to hold anything back here. I also feel like I always say, right now you're having fun. Right now, enjoy that. Right now, enjoy the new beginning of it. Sometimes and I'll include myself in this, sometimes we look too far ahead. We want to know what's coming. And I feel like I have to say, enjoy this right now. This also feels a little bit, Crystal, like the first time you're experiencing this type of person or this type of energy. So I really have to say to you, enjoy that. Enjoy. And I feel, does this person bring you a real safe feeling? Because that's how I feel when I tap in here energetically. I feel nice and safe. I feel nice and cuddly. I feel like I've got that, and it feels like a different level for you, if that makes sense. I hope I'm verbalizing that okay. I just feels like a new, right? You know what I mean by that, Crystal? Enjoy it. I think that you deserve it, and I need to remind you of really, really stay in that power of now. Enjoy the adventures and enjoy the start. We're always wanting to get to the middle or know what's coming, right? We always want to kind of jump ahead, and I have to say, because it feels so new, I just want to absorb it all. I really want you to feel that you deserve to be treated the way you're being treated. It feels quite lovely to me. A lot of you are acknowledging feeling drained. Yeah, yeah. Look at you guys. So when we feel drained, make sure that you're recharging. Make sure, even if it's just something as simple as 5 minutes a day, or drinking extra water, or setting some intentions to rest a little bit deeper. Make sure that you're giving yourself that time if you're feeling that way. Energy, even though, like, even for myself, even though wasn't necessarily agitated or frustrated during the past week, the people that are around me, the people that I was, in contact with, were experiencing a lot of things, and it can be very draining if we don't physically and spiritually refuel our gas tank. It's extremely important. So those of you who are feeling a little bit drained, recharge. Didi, a friend died suddenly, and the grief, shock, and sadness is so deep. I see her all around me. Didi, There has been a lot of sudden death this week. I have had a lot of people reach out, like more than usual, reach out to me with this, with the sudden leaving, and with that sudden leaving, it's harder to understand when we don't have a time to prepare. When you see her all around you, she's letting you know that she's okay, and when you feel that, she's letting you know that she's okay, but you need to give yourself some time to process, right? And one thing, with the spirit dimensions, yes, we know they're all around us, but we also need to give ourselves some time to process, and give ourselves some time to grieve. And I feel like I've got to say, Didi, give yourself that time. Right, it's give yourself that space, and we are all sending you much love and holding you in love and light. There, Didi. Fran, thoughts on how my road trip will go with the kids? Fran, you're gonna have a really good time. I also feel, Fran, that I feel strength in the relationship. I feel like this experience is going to bring a lot of strength and closer together, because I can feel that tightness coming in. I can feel that coming in closer. And I also feel that there's even though it may not be verbally stated, I feel like there's some healing that's underlying that fun. I feel like there's healing energy there that's and we're always working through our healing, right? So but I feel like there's just this there's a healing tone to it, is the best way for me to describe it. And I feel like the bond and the connection is going to grow. I also feel that everybody is very excited, and I also feel that there's a little bit of nervousness in that mix, a little bit with with going. Perhaps it's yours, but I feel like I have to say, enjoy every moment. Traveling brings a lot of energy. It brings a lot of fun energy. And when things kind of blip a little bit, as they always do, and I don't feel it major, but there are moments when we're traveling that we're, whether it be traffic or frustration or whatever it is, um, lean out of it, right? Go, if you get stuck in traffic, put on a fun song and sing together in the car, right? I feel like I have to say, infuse fun into normal hiccups. Because like everything, there's normal hiccups and things. Something as simple as traffic can offset the energy in a vehicle. So just simply infuse that with a lot of fun. A fun little game of what else do you see? When you're looking out a window, what else do you see? Is it kind of shifts things a little bit. But I feel a lot of fun with this, and I feel like it's so needed. There's a real feel here that this is, I mean, we all love a vacation or a road trip, but this has a deeper feeling with just, it's so needed, the connection, and just kind of regroup and just enjoy a few days just feels like at a higher level of needed. um Spring Justice Department. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that, Spring. And Kayla, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. I do have my notes here. I did have my notes here to tap into some questions about that. My question for today says, Shy, how are my cats doing? I really miss them. I hope they're getting okay. Shy, when I lean in there, I do feel like they're doing very well. I do feel like there's been moments of adjusting, but it doesn't feel like a stress to me. It feels like a normal process. I do feel they're adjusting well. I also feel them being treated like royalty. Like I feel like so much attention being applied to them, a lot of effort to make them feel comfortable, and I feel like they're settling. I feel like I've got that. I'm settling in, right? I don't feel that a heavy stress or not coping. It feels quite good to me. I feel like they're adjusting. I also feel, Shy, have you been sending them like telepathic messages? Because I feel them connecting to you. I feel like they're feeling whatever energy you're sending them. I feel like I need to let you know they're receiving it, and that is helping the experience go along. I also feel they were well prepared for this. They were very well prepared for the transition. So well done, you. Diane Quinn, does my spirit guides have any messages for me? Diane, I feel my shoulders all of a sudden got very heavy when I started to read your question. I feel like I need to give yourself, even if it's 5 minutes, of that shoulder rolling, of adjusting what you're carrying, and that's energy. I feel like I just gotta like unpack a little bit. I feel like I've just got to kind of like, I don't know if my right what side am I on? My right shoulder, especially. I feel like I've got some energy that I'm holding there. I need just to kind of give yourself that spiritual massage of just being able to like move that energy around. Sometimes we hold stuff and we don't even know what we're holding. I guess I just got to intentionally move it around a little bit. And Diane, I really feel like I need to say to you, you are doing exceptionally well, and your efforts and your growth are shining through and shifting things. So I also feel, has there been a calming, Diane? I think that a few things have settled down a little bit, and I need to just kind of say to you, well done navigating it. I feel like you use that internal compass of that spiritual guide compass and navigating through a lot of things. And I feel like I've got to acknowledge how well you are doing. And I feel like that acknowledgement is hard for you. Acknowledging myself feels like yourself feels hard for me. I feel like I've got to acknowledge myself on how well I've done navigating through some difficult times. So sit with that and let me know your answer to that question that I posted you there. Bonnie, I would love to hear from my niece. Bonnie, as soon as I seen your name, I could feel this great big smile on my face come from the spirit dimensions coming through. I feel like I'm shining very bright. I also feel like I've got to, when a sunflower's head is down and then the sun comes out and they shine bright. That was the image that went through my mind, was this brilliant bright energy that she's shining down like a sunflower, that literally, and she's trying to give that to you. And so, Bonnie, I know, when we struggle and when we're having difficult times, we sometimes kind of like navigate through that. She keeps showing me head up. She keeps showing me that brilliant. A sunflower stands so beautiful and strong with its face to the sun, and she's trying to kind of give that energy over to you. I also feel like there's some new blooming around you. She's showing like new blooms, so new pieces of yourself that are kind of like coming up to the surface and kind of blooming a little bit. And this is what she's saying, Bonnie, is it's okay sometimes when we bloom, and we know how a flower closes up sometimes. Allow that slowness sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to slowly expand. I understand we always want to have that expansion and have things better right away. She's saying that sometimes things happen slow, and that's okay. But face to the sun, where the light is kind of what she's saying, is facing the light. So, and she means the spiritual light. So when you're kind of, navigating through the day or through the weeks or through the months, put your face up a little bit and feel the light of spirit, or surround yourself in that, in a white light, or sit with it doesn't even have to be like a sun lamp, but any kind of light. She's just saying put your face to the light. Bonnie, I hope that makes some sense there to you, darling. Mel, good morning. Lana, any messages for me? Sending my love and gratitude. Bless your heart, Mel. um Mel, I feel like there's been so much coming at you over the last little bit, and I feel like I have to say you've done really well at navigating and using your intuition. You've stayed quite spiritual in things that you've been kind of navigating through, and again with the applauding for you, I can hear a lot of applauding. I feel like there's been some. I'm going to use the phrase "test of trust" is kind of how it's coming at me, and I feel like you've done really well with trusting that test and navigating through changes. And I also feel like I feel like the waters are calming. I feel like you're getting to the space of just some calmer waters, and you can set your sail in new directions. And I keep seeing it as like a sailboat into new directions. So have you been kind of working through some processes where some new beginnings or new directions are coming? And I feel like I have to say, trust the wind current. That being a spiritual reference, trust the wind current and guiding that ship of life, that navigation system. It's kind of really awesome on how they're showing me that when we set our sail. I'm just listening at the same time here, Mel. When we set our sail into allowing our ship of life to go in the new directions, sometimes the wind blows us into different currents, right? But I feel like I don't feel that turbulence. I don't feel like a rocky boat. I feel like directions, new ways, and it kind of flows very much like this. So I do feel there are more new things coming, and I feel like you've got your sail set right. I don't feel that fear. I don't feel that uncertainty. I feel like that trust level is setting my sail. I hope that makes sense there to you, Mel. And well done. Setting our sail. And I love how Spirit showed that to me. I'm not quite sure I've ever seen it shown to me like that. But I love the analogy of that, of setting our sail and letting the wind or letting the current kind of drift us off into whatever direction that we come. And I feel such a calm and all around you. I feel like even the people in your household or have that more of that calming, trusting energy. PJ, going to Nova Scotia to look at homes. No big expectations when I find my home. PJ, can I come with you? Nova Scotia is a glorious energy. I love Nova Scotia. Um, I feel I feel like this, so I'm just curious, is this the first time you're going to look at homes there? Because I feel that it is, or I just it feels new to me. I feel you returning for another have a look. I feel like the beginning of a new chapter, and I feel like I'm sifting and sorting and feeling through it. I do feel that at some point you're going to find what you're looking for there, but I do feel like there's more than one trip. So I feel like and I also feel like I have to go be very playful. I love how you said no big expectations. That is a huge just trusting the experience. I'm gonna go have a look. I'm gonna allow. I when you're landing, when the plane is landing, or when you arrive, um, I really want you to kind of just tap into that allowing what's meant to come to me without that forcing, right? Without I'm just gonna have fun and have a look. And when you're in different houses or different neighborhoods, just kind of feel or imagine, can I see myself here? I kind of had this push to kind of teach you that a little bit. Can I see myself here? And going with the feeling and going with the pull. I feel like there's more than one trip. Like I feel there's another one, and I don't feel it that far apart from one another. So I'll leave that there with you. PJ Spotty TY. Good morning, Lana. Are there any messages here for me? Spotty, have you felt a different strength within you? I feel like there's just this new, and it feels like a lion or a lioness energy. I just feel like this new strength coming with from you, and I feel like I've got to really say to you, tap into that even deeper. I don't know if being this level of strong is new, or if this level of strong is something that you've kind of struggled to get to. But I feel like I've got to say, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You're not going that way anymore. Let me know if that resonates there for you. Diane, again, another question. Lana, spirits have talked to you about 3 days of darkness, a video from another channeler. Just curious on your thoughts. So Diane, I'm not familiar about that. 3 days of I'm not of that video. So if you want to either private message me or put more details here, I'll have to have a look at the video before I can comment on that. Uh, Tabitha, hi Lana, do my guides have any messages for me? Tabitha, have you been asking for clarity? I feel like there's something that you've been kind of asking for more information on, some more clarity. And I feel like I've got to change my perspective, like change my lenses. When spirit takes my glasses off and puts them back on, that's my sign for clarity. So I feel like and I feel like I have to come at a situation with, and if it doesn't make sense right now in this moment, remember that I said it. I need to change my perspective on how I'm looking at something. Change your lenses, have a step back, and have another look. If that doesn't make sense to you now, I think it's going to make sense, and it doesn't feel bad. I just feel like I have to take another look at something. And I feel like that clarity that you're seeking comes very quickly. So just kind of remember that I said that there. Didi, a message from you on Wednesday said, "Don't take life so seriously and go have fun." That was my friend Jennifer. So thank you for that message. You're very welcome, darling. All right, let's see. Here we go here. Sonia, hello. I don't have many people in my life, feeling alone and not supported. When I try to build some relationship, it falls apart. Any messages from the spirit world? Yes, absolutely. And I just want to apologize. There's some construction going outside. So if you're hearing a hum in my background, I'm sorry. They seem to be doing some leaf blowing or something outside of my window here. Um, One thing I want to say, Sonia, is I feel that you have had a teacher role for quite some time. You have been teaching people that have come onto your path. When we go into a teaching role part of our journey, when we become the teacher and teaching people, um, it's often short term that people come onto our path. People come and go, and it can be very short term. I need you to kind of lean into that a little bit. When we're the teacher and we're teaching other people things, they're not meant to stay. And I'm just at that. And so a little bit of self chatter, a little self talk. I'm teaching people, and they're teaching me. I'm learning too. But it's a great opportunity to have that spot on our journey where we're teaching people and we're learning. So I want to kind of soften that a little bit. Is it's not a bad thing that when we build relationships and they fall apart, there's some learning and there's some teaching that's going on. And I feel it back and forth. I feel like, you are learning some things too, but I think that you're teaching more than what you're learning right now. And I feel that I've got to say, when we have like a job, and in our job, we're putting people back better than how we found them. I feel like I've got to say, feel that energy a little bit, feel the other side of that. Yes, it's difficult when people are in and out of our lives and relationships don't stay permanent, but I feel like I have to say, look at the other side of that. Look at what you learned and look at what you've taught them. All right. um Mandy, I've had this pain, my leg upper part, had all tests done, feeling stuck moving forward. But do you feel anything else? Let me have a moment with that one, Mandy. Mandy, I don't feel anything medically in that either. Um, and always, like I always say, please lean in on the medical community there. But the medical world hasn't found anything there. Um, I feel it, and I do feel it easing up. It almost feels like, and I'm also curious, does the pain come and go, or it almost feel like it grabs you? I'm curious with that, Mandy, because I felt it kind of like it grabbed me. I also feel some energy attached to that, energy that you're kind of holding in that leg. And I feel that energy, it comes, I do feel it like a trauma attachment and trauma response. Have you had many periods during, like, I mean, it feels heavy. We've all had moments where we felt like, we couldn't move or couldn't walk. But has a big part of your life, or a big theme in your life, been a holdback on going forward with things? Because I feel like it almost feels like an energy entrapment there. Like, I just feel like it's been a difficult thing for you throughout this journey, that some of that energy is there. Mandy, I know you're really open to energy work. I would kind of tap into that, and I would also just kind of lean in, medically as well, kind of have both worlds work together a little bit. But I'm not feeling a medical issue with, I can't lean in there um at all. So, and I do feel it easing up, but I feel like it's like a hold. So we all hold energy in different places in our body. Most common places is his back, shoulder, and neck, or the heart chakra area, right? That's why, anxiety has a feeling of that tightness in our chest. That's usually energy that we're holding in there. With you, you've got it in your leg, and it's the moving forward momentum. So I'll leave that there with you to kind of process a little bit, Mandy. I just remembered this. My neighbor said that she's seen a spirit on the porch of the next house over, who she calls the gray man, but he seems angry. Can you tell who this is? Excuse me, Aaron. I just want to read that again and tap into that. So so I don't feel him angry. I feels more of a frustration, and I feel that it connects to whatever's going on, to the people that he connects with. I feel like, okay, here, I'm gonna give it to you this way. When you're trying to help someone, and they either push you away, or all you can do is watch them trip and fall, and no matter how much you try to help them, they don't take your hand, right? So you know that feeling, when like a loved one, either a friend or a child, or and they keep having the same lessons, and you put your hand out, and you can see them kind of struggling, and you can see that their choices are kind of like taking them down this hill. There's something that like that going on that connects to his living people here. So I feel like he's been trying to help, and it's like they don't listen. And spirit does, they do try relentlessly hard. I also to help. So, and when we struggle, they feel it too. So I feel like that feeling, of that energy that's coming off of him, is his own frustration on trying to help. And because I don't feel it as an angry or a dark around him, and he keeps showing me that he's trying to help, and there's something going on that connects to his living people that he's worried about. I hope that answers that. Wes, there's no need to apologize, darling. Okay, so I'm just watching the time. Some of you wanted me to talk about the spiritual justice department. So I do want to tap into that a little bit. And you're welcome to add questions and comments on the topic as well. If there's anything else that you want me to talk about regarding this topic, I'm happy to answer them. As always, I don't claim to hold all the information or all the knowledge. I never want to come across that way. I can only share from my experience and what spirit has taught me about certain topics. So I just want to be very clear with that. I don't claim to hold all the answers. Now, many of us on our journey have had experiences where um, we don't understand why there's no physical world justice, or why karma doesn't seem to show up, right? We've all been there. I'm sure each and every one of you can acknowledge that, right? With why do certain things happen, and why does spirit allow certain things to happen, or why isn't there any justice for things that happen here in the physical world? um and it can be hard to understand, and I have had my own moments over the last several years where I've looked up and said, like, what the hell? Like, where's the justice in that? I'm going to back up time a little bit. When I had my experiences where I died and crossed over, and went to the other side, I addressed this question while I was over there as well. Where's the justice? Right? Where is the justice? That's when spirit first showed me the spirit justice department. With the spirit justice department, because we come here with choice and free will, not everything that happens here in the physical world has anything to do with spirit. We come here with that ability to have those choices and free will, and the justice is not always answered here, but it is answered over there. There's also, spirit does try and help our physical world with physical world justice systems. However, with choice and free will, again, we in the physical world have that control where spirit doesn't. And it's, and are certain things mapped out that are going to happen on our journey? Yes. And are there things that are not mapped out as part of our physical world experience? Yes, because of the choice and free will. When it comes to the Justice Department of Spirit, and it's not a fear-based thing. I want to be very, very clear on that. It's not a fear-based thing with the Spirit Justice Department. It will tie back into our learning, whether it be in this lifetime or in another lifetime. Because I want to make sure this isn't coming across as fear. If there has been something that we've experienced here in the physical world that is at what's the word I'm looking for? At a profound or deep level of hurting other people, we do have to answer for that. And in my own life review, and when I sat in my own life review at my spirit guides, when I have never done horrible things here, but I have had learning over the years where I didn't do so well. And in that life review, and the Justice Department came and sat with me and showed me the things that I struggled with. Now, with the bigger things, with people who have done things that are horrible here in this physical world, they sit with that Justice Department when they cross over, if they didn't learn the lessons when they're here. And in next lifetimes and in the spirit dimensions, we have to work on that. We have to go into like a healing pod, is the best way I can describe it, and work on that. Karma comes in many different ways here in the physical world. Karma can come with you yourself may be faced with a similar situation. Karma can come with other learning experiences that you may have, and karma can come when we cross over, and karma can come and when I struggle with the word karma can come in other lifetimes as well, but it's not like a punishment, it's like a learning. So we can experience different things in different learnings, both in the spirit dimensions, physical world, and in other lifetimes. But it's not a fear base. And I want to make that perfectly clear, because I don't like fear based energy. It's about learning and the soul's journey. When it comes to, I'm just going to check the questions here. So if you guys have any questions so far on what I've talked about. Um, Okay, so far nothing, no questions yet on what I've talked about. Okay, I'll try and grab a few more. Aaron, I see your questions about the gray man, and Tabitha, I see your question about the green space. So I will try and come back to there. When it comes to the learning and that's one thing that Spirit's very clear on, is the learning. when we talk about the heavier stuff, that's a bit different, right? I'm talking when I say about, when the spirit justice department, I'm talking about like heavy stuff that happens here. The lighter stuff. So, and I'm not trying to minimize people's experiences that have happened, but let me just kind of think of a situation. If I don't treat somebody well, if I'm mean, or if I'm not kind, or if I'm hurting other people to kind of make myself feel better or look better, those are things that the spirit justice department are going to kind of put in my path um at some point before, but while I'm still here. So for example, have you ever noticed that um people who are harsh, people who are mean, have you ever noticed that things in their life, quite often, not always, but quite often, they're always faced with the same kind of situation? That is the spirit justice department work, trying to reach them and trying to help them work on things. It's the same thing with really negative people. Have you ever noticed that sometimes they're always in that same cycle? So like they're always facing, relationship issues, or they're always facing, financial issues, or they're always facing. That's because the spirit justice department is trying to work with them to teach them that lesson, right? So that is the kind of justice energy that happens while we're here. Now, I want to be very clear. Not all turbulence in life is the spirit justice department intervening, right? Spirit is always guiding us and trying to help us. Okay. So when it comes to the harder stuff, like I'm talking about, people that kill people and that kind of energy, that is very different than the life lesson energy. Some people come here for a lifetime to learn how to be kind to people. I'm sure if you think back, through your own experiences, we probably all have somebody that has been very mean and very toxic to a family or to friends. But I'm talking about that kind of energy. Okay. So I feel that with that, they will continue to have those repeat things come up until they learn. And some people here struggle with their learning, and I chuckle with that because we've all had people that we've had experiences with, and you can see them repeating their learning, right? Okay. Let me grab a few questions before I continue the conversation. Okay. Bianca, is that what karmic connections are? I felt my ex was. Yeah. So karmic connections can resurface to teach us new lessons, right? It's like, okay, you didn't learn how to do this great last lifetime. We're going to try again. Quite often it's with the same people from the same lifetime, from past lifetimes as well. So who asked me that question? Bianca. So your ex, you may have had 4 other lifetimes where you had to learn again, whatever it is that you were kind of navigating through. It can be, here we are again to try and work through that. And I think many of us have had those type of people in our lives where, we can't seem to heal it. We can't seem to get past it. We have that vibration of, it usually is like a fiery, spicy energy where that push pull, we're trying to learn and heal that. That's not like, and so when I guess the word justice, maybe a little bit harsh in those situations, but you're trying to heal and learn from each other from past lifetimes. Um, and sometimes it's not from a past lifetime. Sometimes it's a lesson that we need to learn from this lifetime. And sometimes with that choice and free will, there's no shifting some people or even shifting ourselves. Like, I mean, sometimes we're banging our head against the wall too, right? He completely changed me, and I felt it was a karmic soulmate. We usually feel that. We do usually feel that, right? So many spiritual signs too, but we weren't meant to be together long term, just impact. Absolutely. That is a description, Bianca, of like that karmic connection, right? Um, there are many people on your journey that you've had many lifetimes with, or past lifetimes with, that kind of they come in to kind of teach you that one extra thing, or you weren't meant to have a long term. The soul contract was never meant to have a long term. Here's another chance to connect. Here's another chance to learn, or here's another chance to heal it. And it's not meant to be a bad thing or a punishment. I want to be very, very, very clear on that, because I don't like fear based Energy of fear-based thoughts. Mandeep, my question is this: karma comes in other lifetimes and it's the soul aware of it? Is it really a learning then? So the soul may not be aware of it in the lifetime, but remember, when the soul transitions, there's a whole other experience there. So yes, the soul is aware of it. It may not be aware of it in the physical world, but the soul, because some of us can connect to our soul and some of us can't, right? Some of us have spiritual experiences and some of us don't, but we are only here for a short time. So when we transition over into the spirit dimensions, it's like we get all the knowledge from our past lives back and we have all that information. It's the same thing when we come here. So when we before we came here into this physical world, it was we were up there and it's like we had our learning lessons. Here's our learning lesson. Okay, I'm going to come here, I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to learn this. Transition into a physical body, and we don't necessarily always have that information. I have, this lifetime have had a heightened awareness from my past lifetimes on where my learning I struggled with, and I've worked harder this lifetime to kind of connect the dots. Not everybody has that, but we do get shown things by repeat lessons. If you keep coming into the repeat lesson, that's where a lot of the learning is. So whether it be the same struggle or the same type of people, that's where the learning is, and that's kind of like a hint on the parts that we're missing. Well, spirit works relentlessly hard to guide us through that. And the word karma is more, I would love if we could change or even change, because as soon as somebody says, oh, karma's coming, people kind of get their back up with fear. I would love to change that into, oh, the learning's coming, right? Because it's not a harsh thing. When I spent my time in my life reviewing the spirit dimensions, I only felt love and support and guidance. I didn't feel that judge and gavel coming down. I felt they're here to help me learn. They're also here to, for me to utilize while we're here in the physical world. We have that choice. We have that choice on whether or not we want to lean in or whether or not we want to lean out. Okay. Uh, Look, a lot of you validating the same cycle. Okay, I got to scroll back up. Sorry, I lost my spot. My apologies, you guys. I lost my spot. Oh, I hate when I do this. Okay, so maybe I went too far down. Mandy, I've had this leg pain, upper part. Okay, I read that one. Sorry, you guys. I'm just looking for the questions about the here we go. Okay, same cycle, always relationship issues for some. Okay, so yes, and Fran kind of sounds like law of attraction. So law of attraction is a bit different than karma. So law of attraction is a powerful energy. I'm sure you all can nod of, yeah, I put a lot of energy into that and it unraveled that way. Law of attraction is what we put out, we get back in. And then that includes some of our learning experiences as well. Part of the learning experiences, and people always say this to me, Lana, I would never ever have chosen these learning lessons. And I always say, oh yes, we did. And some of it we also have kind of dived in and kind of brought in the learning forward as well. When we have those repeat cycles, if we're not kind of getting it and coming to that place of, okay, here's what I need to learn in order to move forward, that law of attraction comes back at us as well, because we get into these cycles of nothing good ever happens to me, or I'm never going to meet anybody. And I say to people, if you're putting out that energy, I'm never going to meet people, only, it's always, that's going to continue bringing in that energy. And we're also learning to reconnect to our spiritual selves when we come back here into the physical world. That's part of the journey. That's part of the learning, to being able to come back into the essence of who we really are. That's part of every single one of us here. Okay. Um, Okay, spring. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's why I'm dealing with my issues. I do have karmic debt in my numerology report. Very interesting. This is a fascinating topic, by the way. So, you guys are more than welcome, and I'm very much okay. And I know I say this all the time. You're welcome to share your feelings on it. This is not, I'm very, 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 very open with everyone's entitled to how they feel about this topic. I'm only sharing what I've learned with it, what Spirit has taught me. But what how you feel matters to me too. So, please feel free and always know that in my lives, it's very much your experiences as well. It's not just me. I'm never here to say this is 100%, you've got to do it this way or else. Never. This is just the experiences that I've had, my conversations with Spirit, my time over in the spirit dimensions. But you are all always welcome in a very safe space to share your perceptions and what you think, right? I always want to make that 100% clear. It's extremely important to me. Okay. Um, and I do have to watch the time, you guys. I'm so sorry. Um, Shy, this makes me wonder if me and my stepfather have had kind of a relationship with each other. He hurt me and even offered me in many of my past lives, including this one. Okay, now with this though, I want to come back to the choice and free will. I want to come back into that because I don't want anybody to walk away from this live thinking this happened because I deserved it from a past life karma. Their spirit is never wanting us to have dark or hurtful experiences. I want to be perfectly clear on that. When things are wrong to us, when for example, if you were, treated very, very poorly or abused, that's not necessarily connecting to karma. Oh, you deserve that. I want to be very, very clear on that because that's not what the spirit dimensions are. That is, that can be choice and free will. So I want to be very careful with how we're thinking about this and processing this because karma is not harmful or hurtful. The spirit dimensions are not dark like that. That is can be the choice and free will experience here. So I just want to be very careful. I'm talking about themes and I'm talking about the learning and I'm talking about the experiences. When we do dark things here, that's the so let's just say I spent I've hurt somebody, whether it be physically or people who have done terrible things. That will not go without justice in the spirit dimensions, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. You will have to answer that. Even if we answer it here, we still have to have our moment with spirit, and we still have to go into doing our soul's work on the other side. There's a whole other side and other world to the healing and with the learning, because choice and free will here, spirit cannot shift that. Right? They can't. We It's like an agreement. We came here with that choice and free will. All right. There's a movie called The Butterfly Effect. That reminds me of this topic. Each lifetime he connects with a childhood friend, and they are a lesson to each other. I've seen that movie, and they did a really good job with that movie with this topic for the most part. I agree there, Bianca, with that. It's very much similar. Fran, it sounds like when you pass, you get a report card to let you know what you did and what you flunked, and let's try again. Exactly. And we also get to have the feelings and the awareness of that learning. So let's just say, friend, I'm going to use you and I as an example. Let's just say I don't treat you very well in my life review, and when I get my report card. Not only am I told I'm going to experience the feelings that I gave you, right? It's like, because you do get that. Oh, right. Yeah. Right. You have it kind of comes into that space of this is how you impacted that person. You have to and that in itself, when you think about it, is a karma, right? To be able to have that awareness, that in itself is that karma to be able to, okay, this is how it felt when I didn't treat Fran very, very kindly. Right? Okay. Um, let's see where we go here. Karma is fear based. Usually, I don't think people mistake karmic connections for twin flames. So, karma shouldn't be fear based. So, karma, it comes in back into that the old saying, what goes around comes around. The energy you put out will come back to you. And that is that is karma. But it's not meant to be fear-based. It's meant to teach and to shift us into something different and what we came here to do. We didn't come here to hurt each other. You will never convince me of that. We came here to love each other. We came here to learn to be collective. We came here to help other people. That's what we came here for. So when we kind of shift out of that, the energy that we're putting out comes back. How can it not? But it's not meant to be fear-based. The fear-based stuff is physical world. That is all physical world. All right, you guys, I do have to get going. Dee Dee, so instead of Judgment Day, we should have a Discovery Day. Yes, or a healing day, right? We will have to answer to the hard, and when I'm talking about the hard stuff that people do here, right? I'm talking about, like, the really dark stuff that people do here, the things that we struggle and with our learning. I mean, I want to be really, really open and honest with this conversation. If it's just a learning experience, I'll use Fran and I again. Like, let's say on this learning experience, I'm not treating Fran very well. Um, and then I'm going to heal that. You know what, Fran? Like, I was wrong. I haven't been very kind. I could have done better. I want to work on that. That's healing it in this lifetime too. Like, we do have the opportunity to heal that in this lifetime too. I need to shift my perspective. I need to be a little bit more gentle. I need to be kinder to people. Right? We can learn the lessons and figure it out while we're here as well. All right, you guys. Mandy, do you find it more difficult to read people you know well, especially a spouse or a child, or is it just more important to get out of the way? Oh, that's a loaded one. Okay, so I don't find it more difficult from my perspective. Friends and family don't usually listen to me. And it's okay, because they have that deep connection, right? I can say, don't touch that, it's hot, and they are going to reach out and touch it anyway, and that's okay. I've learned it, and I've also learned a big boundary with what I do with my friends and family, unless it is extremely crucial. Like, let's say, if spirit shows me you got to intervene here, unless it is extremely crucial, I don't intervene unless they ask me. I have that respect for not just my family, but for other people, in my life. I don't even think about this live. I don't simply say a message to somebody unless they ask. I have very, very deep respect for people on their learning journey here. So if they ask me, I will say, okay. And I also say, do you want me to ask this way or this way? So are you asking me, or do you want me to ask them? I give people my friends, my family, I give them that option. I don't automatically tap into spirit without their permission, because it's a huge respect. It's a huge respect. I have respect for all people, those that are around me. Now, if there was, because I don't want to interfere in their learning, Mandy. That's the biggest one, right? So, and unless spirit says you must, you must, right? Like, you've got to give them that life raft to grab at. Then I will, and it's usually like the big things, right? Spirit has told me a few times, with my older boys, tell them not to go on the 401 highway for another hour. If they say that, then I do. But the life advice stuff, I don't. And then I give people the opportunity. Am I asking them, or you want to ask me? Because it can be very different opinions too. Most of the time, it's what they would agree with. But I always give people the opportunity. Which way you want? Who are you asking? But I don't intervene, Mandy, on their journey. I need to practice that more. Yeah, and for the biggest thing is we we struggle to have people that we love and care about learn their lessons, right? But if we get in the way of that, I'm telling you right now, they're going to learn them anyway. So you might as well hold the space and journey beside them, and it comes back to that whole stay in my own lane. I stay in my own lane with my mediumship. I never, ever, ever, assume anybody wants a message. I never, unless spirit forces me in a public area and they have over the years, they have said you must. Um, And even with that, I go up to them and I usually have my business card out and I'll say, I just need to talk to you. Are you open for that? I give them the opportunity to walk away from me as well. Because I believe so strongly that, people have to be open to what spirit has to say. So that's just kind of the angle that I take. Um, Now, has spirits told me stuff that I needed to know about my friends and family? Hard yes. Oh yeah, spirit has said to me, they're doing this. Go up and check. Oh yeah, spirit has snitched. Spirit has snitched. Um, I've also had spirit say you need to, many times you need to reach out to so and so, they're really struggling. But even with that, I opened the door. Mandy, I would text you and I would say, hey, got you on my mind. Do you need me? That gives you the feeling, or the choice of sharing or not sharing, of opening up to me or not opening up to me. I keep that very, very sacred. It's very sacred to me. And my kids don't listen to me, so I send them to other mediums. Yeah, there can be too deep of a personal connection, right? Like you're their mom, and sometimes it's the eye roll. Oh, it's my mom, and oh, it's just mom energy. And that's okay. That's okay, and they're gonna learn the lessons anyway. So that's what they're here to do. But I hear you on that, Mandy. It can be, and I've learned, and there are some, and I'm totally okay with it. There are some people that love me dearly, but want nothing to do with what I do, and that's okay. Right? It's really about being okay and understanding their experience. Liar, liar, pants on fire song. That's one of my spirit signs. When spirit sings it to me and then I see it, and I will see it. If somebody's lying to me, and I don't even always call them out. If they're lying to me, and I don't go at them for it, right? I'll say, is there anything else you want to talk about on the subject? Um, I I I never ever want to shame anybody either. But if spirit's telling me something, then I take that as knowledge for me sometimes. Sometimes I will call people out. It depends on the situation, right? It truly depends on the situation. Um, anyway, here we go. And I'm grateful spirit has told you to reach out to me, changed a lot of things. Yeah. Yes, and that's the whole choice, and that's the whole choice and free will part too, right? Spirit will say, reach out, offer that life raft to someone, offer that support to someone, and then they have the choice and free will on whether or not they're ready. And sometimes people just aren't ready, and that's the other thing too, is sometimes people just are not ready. All right, thumbs up if you enjoyed your morning with me. I've stretched the limit here. Boy, have I stretched the limit. It's okay. Spirit will get me to my office with plenty of time. I know it. Mandy. Okay. Oh, sorry. I read that one, Mandy. Okay. I need that kind of connection, Lana. I would just want to, before I do that, I felt we all have that kind of connection. You're just learning to grow it, right? So you're just learning to grow that connection. And I want to be, I want to remind you all of that as well. You all have the ability to grow this. It does it take time? Yep. Do you have to build it? Yep. But it's, each and every one of you can do this. Each and every one of you can grow your connections to spirit in very different ways. And you're supposed to have your own connection, right? Here, whatever project you're working on, move quickly and remain flexible. Beware of anyone trying to trick or deceive you. You may be fooling yourself about some venture or relationship and not paying attention to the obvious signs. Pay closer attention to the cycles of the moon and coordinate your activity that it corresponds with the moon's waxing and waning, release receptive stages. You will be required to make some unexpected and rapid changes in a direction in the upcoming days. Okay, let's break that down. Be open to some changes. Spend some time with the moon. And pay closer attention to the cycles of the moon. The moon has a powerful energy that Well, I spend a lot of time with the moon, but I think for many of us, we you know we don't tap into that moon or that sky energy enough, and it is profound to spend time with the moon. You may be fooling yourself about a venture or a relationship. So that is the clarity part. Make sure that you're giving yourself some time with some clarity and be more flexible. That's the whole allowing space. Be more flexible. Flexibility is being flexible is a tough one for many of us. I connect with the moon, might do a ritual. I do a ritual almost every day, every night. I'm gonna cut my hair. Okay. Lunar walk, yeah. The lunar crew, the new moon in 2 days. Absolutely. All right. I get a kick out of the fingers and the ears thing. All right, here we go. 361. Your prayers about paying your bills and other earthly concerns have been heard and answered. Turn any worries into prayer for help. I'm going to do another one. Hmm. 321. Give any concerns to the ascended masters. So, ascended masters being in your belief system, spirit, Buddha, Jesus, and they will replace your fears with faith. I want to do one more. 122. Stay filled with faith because heaven is working behind the scenes to help your manifestations appear. The more positive your thoughts and feelings, the faster and better manifestation occurs. Those angel numbers tap into, the word fear. So just when we see, here's the repeat lesson part of it. When we see, the repeat message in angel numbers or in our experience in our journey here, it's time to listen up. So watch the energy, watch the vibration of fear over the next couple days. Disconnect from it when you can. Right. So I I'm very aware when things come at me and repeat. So just kind of lean out of any fears over the next couple days. Um, Watch what you're putting into your energy fields. Watch what you're subjecting yourself to, because fear is a vibration that also has an attraction. Right. All right, you guys. I know I didn't get to everyone's question. I will be back. Oh, I should check what I'm doing. Oh, it's Monday. I think Monday's a holiday here, isn't it? Let me double check that. I think we've got a long week. Is this a long weekend? The power of now for me goes too far the other way sometimes. So I don't even know what day it is sometimes with the power of now. So let me just so Monday the 5th is civic. It's a long weekend. Yes, it's a long weekend. See the surprise on my face? That is Lana deep into the power of now. That is how deep I am. I don't even know when it's a long weekend. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I will not be here Monday with a long weekend. I am going to spend some time enjoying that vibration. I have a ball tournament on Saturday, so wish us luck there. I'll see you all Wednesday morning at our usual time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. As always. Oh, here it is for me. Yeah. How do you forget it's a long weekend, eh? Um, Bubbles, Wes, maybe you need to hear anything today. If Lana skips my question, I usually trust that. Wes, I did not see your question. However, I will reach out to you and you can ask me that way as well. I can't get to everyone's question. I've done almost an hour here in the live, and I do my best to get to as many as I possibly can. I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care, you guys. Much love.